Hey everyone, welcome back to Mecha Test Studio, where we push Gunpla kits to their limits. Today, we're testing the durability of a very special kit, the Immortal Justice Gundam from the Seed movie. Before we dive into this review, I highly recommend checking out my previous video, where we tested the Rising Freedom Gundam. We'll see if the Immortal Justice can surpass its impressive score. I'd like to apologize in advance for the quality of our durability test video. I'm still in the early stages of my channel, so I'm using my phone's slow motion mode to capture all the action during the shake and drop tests. Hopefully I'll be able to improve the video quality in the future, but for now, let's get started. We ran our signature shake test in 3 levels of intensity. Level 1, light shake. After 20 seconds of shaking, we already see some pieces falling off. The right wing first, followed by the left wing. That's a total of 6 points deducted, 3 points for each drop. Not a great start. Level 2, medium shake. In this round, the shaking is a bit more intense. This time, the left wrist pops off, but surprisingly, nothing else drops. We'll deduct another 2 points for the wrist. Level 3, turbo shake. For the final round, the kit is shaken as hard as possible for 20 seconds. Impressively, nothing came off in this test, so no further points are lost. The kit holds up under extreme shaking, which is quite surprising after its weaker performance in the earlier rounds. Total deduction for the shake test, 8 points. Next up is the drop test. We dropped the Immortal Justice from a height of 3 meters, just like we did with the Rising Freedom. For every part that breaks off, we deduct 2 points. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Upon impact, the entire backpack shatters into 4 separate parts, resulting in an immediate 8-point deduction. Unfortunately, that's not all. We also see 6 more pieces break off, including both hands, some weapon effect parts, and even the white piece on the head. That's another 12-point deduction, bringing the total for the drop test to 20 points. After both durability tests, the Immortal Justice Gundam loses 8 points in the shake test and a hefty 20 points in the drop test, leaving it with a final score of 72 points out of 100. While the articulation and the build quality are solid, the durability is lacking compared to other kits we've tested, like the Rising Freedom, which scored an impressive 93 points. Now that we've seen how the Immortal Justice Gundam holds up under extreme conditions, let's move on to a more in-depth review, where I'll highlight some of the issues the test results have already exposed. Right out of the box, the Immortal Justice makes a solid first impression. It's priced similarly to the Rising Freedom, which comes in at about 2,400 yen, and it feels like you're getting good value for the price. One thing I appreciated is the lower sticker count compared to other kits in the same price range. Only small areas like the sensors, eyes, and beam rifle need stickers. I personally replace the stickers with third-party decals, as I prefer not to use stickers on my model. Otherwise, most of the color detailing is achieved through separate plastic pieces, which is a huge plus for a high-grade kit. The backpack and wings are visually striking, with separate parts for the white, red, and blue colors, allowing for crisp details right from assembly. However, after witnessing how the wings easily fell off during the light shake test, it's clear that the attachment points could have been more secure. This indicates that while they look great for display, they lack durability under stress. If you plan to pose the kit without handling it too much, you might not notice this issue. But for those expecting a sturdier build, it's a weak point. This is particularly disappointing since the wings are such a key visual feature of the Justice Gundam line. I also felt that the backpack wings were a bit too thin and lacked the presence that the Justice Gundam is known for. They feel more decorative than functional, which might deter those who prefer a classic bulky Justice aesthetic. Another issue I found was with the leg design. The deep blue on the front parts of the legs didn't mesh well with the rest of the build, giving them a disproportionate, almost too thin look. If we compare it to the previous generation of Justice Gundam, we notice it carries over design elements mainly from the Infinite Justice, like the beam blade from the leg, the slimmer wing design, and the long antenna. Sadly, unlike the Rising Freedom, it doesn't seem to pay much tribute to the first Justice Gundam. Comparing it to the official line art, you'll also notice the wings and the art are significantly wider, and the vent position is different too. Now, let's discuss the articulation, which is where the Immortal Justice really starts to show its versatility. It uses the same new seed action system as the Rising Freedom. Despite having a large crown antenna, the head moves freely without much obstruction. Full left and right movement with a slight upward tilt is possible, which helps when posing the kit in aerial stances. There's even a hollow space below the chin to allow the head to rotate downward more. Arm articulation is impressive, with a full rotation at the shoulder and a 150-degree bend at the elbows. However, the hollow parts around the elbows look somewhat unsightly when the arms are fully bent. As noted in the shake test, the left wrist is prone to popping off under pressure. This is something I also notice when posing, suggesting a recurring problem with this line. Perhaps it's a design flaw? The torso is flexible, allowing for a decent range of twist and tilt. Similar to the Rising Freedom, the waist joint is tight, which is good for stability, but the forward crunch is somewhat limited. Leg articulation is more restricted, mainly due to the bulky skirt armor. The legs can kick forward and out to the sides reasonably well, but backward motion is blocked by the skirt. The side skirts don't move much either, especially with the beam saber handles attached, which reduces mobility in more dynamic poses. The test results have shown that while the joints are fairly tight, key areas like the wrist and wings are vulnerable to coming apart under stress. This could be a consideration if you plan to pose the model frequently or handle it often. Accessories. The accessories for this kit are a mixed bag. It's the typical design we've come to expect, but nothing stands out. A beam rifle, it's a serviceable piece that fits well in the hands and remains secure without wobbling. This slots easily onto the arm, but compared to the Rising Freedom shield, it looks a bit plain and lacking. The shield also comes with a flight mode, but you won't be able to open the wing if you hide it. The only way to open the wing is to use the adapter. Turn it and it will come out. You can also slot in an effect part for the shield. Pretty standard. You get 2 beam sabers, but again, there's nothing out of the ordinary here other than looking more powerful compared to the standard beam saber. They attach securely to the side skirts and come with simple effect parts. If you're after a kit with numerous accessories or unique add-ons, this one might leave you wanting more. But if you appreciate simplicity and a classic loadout, it should suit you just fine. Similar to the Rising Freedom, it's also a transforming kit. For the shield, you just need to turn the gun handle and slot the gun in. Next, slot in the adapter. Unlike the Rising Freedom, due to the long antenna, you will need to open the head shield. Finally, combine everything and pull out the gun from the backpack and we're good to go. Like the Rising Freedom, the mobile armor mode is very easy to perform. In conclusion, the Immortal Justice Gundam offers solid articulation and great aesthetics right out of the box. However, the shake and drop tests reveal weaknesses in areas like the wings and wrists, which may deter those looking for a sturdier, more durable kit. While it scores a decent 72 points, it falls short of the impressive 93-point score set by the Rising Freedom Gundam in my previous review. Thanks for sticking around for another durability test and review here at Mecha Test Studio. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my review of the Rising Freedom Gundam to see how it compares. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about which kit you'd like to see tested next. Catch you all in the next episode.